yanked the entire urinal out of the wall.
Retarded? A little?
I don't know, but that was scary.
Oh.
Randy Orton wasn't just a villain on WWE television. Behind the scenes, the Legend Killer's real-life actions terrified fellow wrestlers. From Court Bauer's accounts of serious misconduct to putting Maria Kanellis in danger with reckless stunts, there are shocking true stories of Orton's behavior. Picture this. Maria Kanellis driving down a dark highway after a tough WWE show, exhausted in the back seat with colleagues, when suddenly flaming projectiles smashed against the car windows. This wasn't an action movie scene, it was her terrifying reality, caused by Randy Orton. The incident happened in the mid-2000s, soon after Maria had joined WWE following the 2004 Diva search, while navigating the company's notoriously harsh backstage culture. She shared this frightening experience during her 2010 appearance on Kayfabe Commentary's You Shoot series, revealing how Orton's dangerous prank almost became deadly.
There was a time where in the car with Umaga and Carlito, and we're in the car, and all of a sudden Randy decides to start shooting fireworks at us. And let me just say, that was one of the scariest moments of my life, because I thought for sure something's gonna happen. There's gonna be a little thing of gas somewhere.
Maria was traveling with Umaga, Eddie Fatu, and Caro. Carlos Khan Jr., between WWE shows, which was a normal part of wrestling life during the Ruthless Aggression era, and road trips often served as bonding experiences. But what happened next turned a routine commute into a nightmare. Orton, possibly in a separate vehicle racing alongside on the highway, started firing Roman candles, fireworks that shoot flaming balls directly at their car. The projectiles hit the vehicle repeatedly as it sped down the highway, creating real danger that went far beyond typical wrestling pranks.
The whole freaking car was gonna blow up like out of a movie or something. I was scared.
He was really lighting off fire.
Maria feared the impacts could ignite the fuel or trigger a gas leak, potentially causing the car to explode like in a movie, and the terror she felt was very real. One spark in the wrong place or one panicked reaction from the driver could have had catastrophic consequences. This wasn't a harmless backstage prank. It was reckless endangerment at 60 miles per hour. What made the incident even more disturbing was the context of Maria's relationship with Orton at the time, as she had already endured his verbal abuse during her early WWE days, responding with a strategy of agreement, repeating, "Okay, Randy, you're right," until he grew bored and moved on to others. The fireworks attack marked a dangerous escalation from psychological harassment to actual physical threat. Fortunately, no one was injured and the group escaped unharmed, but the psychological impact lasted much longer. This happened during a period when Orton was struggling with substance abuse and attitude issues, including a 2006 overdose and wellness policy violations, which led him to attend anger management classes, where he claimed to have nipped that part of me in the bud. The story has been shared by various wrestling outlets over the years, with a 2017 article from The Richest calling it reckless endangerment and noting how Orton nearly killed Maria Kanellis, Caro, and Umaga during what he apparently thought was a silly prank. Neither Caro nor Umaga ever publicly commented on the incident. Umaga passed away in 2009, and Caro's sporadic WWE appearances left no record of him addressing it. Orton himself has never directly responded to Maria's account, though he has broadly acknowledged his youthful immaturity in interviews over the years. For Cody Rhodes walking past a hotel bathroom and witnessing someone display what could only be described as superhuman strength by ripping a porcelain, urinal clean off the wall was no imagination, it was his. Shocking first encounter with Randy Orton, this happened during a WWE tour in Cape Town, South Africa, likely in the mid-2000s, when Rhodes was a wide-eyed rookie, fresh from developmental territory. The venue was the Nelson Mandela Hotel, also known as the TV hotel for the tour, a detail that would become grimly ironic given the destruction that was about to unfold.
Very first time I met Randy, we were in Cape Town, South Africa, and I walked by the men's bathroom, and he had his hands around me.
Rhodes was simply walking past the bathroom when Orton called out, "Hey, Cody, look at this," or "Hey, check this out, Cody man." And what happened next defied belief and seemed to break every hotel plumbing standard imaginable.
And he yanked the entire urinal out of the wall. I like a superhuman strength plaster ripping off the
The fixture came completely off the wall, breaking plaster, exposing pipes, and causing water to flood dramatically into the hotel lobby or lower level, while Orton reportedly giggled through the chaos, turning what should have been serious property destruction into a bizarre form of entertainment. For Rhodes, just starting his main roster career, the moment was overwhelming, but the story didn't end with the flooding. The next day, WWE held a talent meeting to address the significant property damage, and management, aware that security cameras had recorded the incident, demanded to know who was responsible.
I had this big talent meeting the next day. Hey, there were security cameras, guys. We want to know who did it. He walked up in front of everybody and said, "Hey, I want to know who did it." Hey, this guy is nuts. But that
Orton stood up in feigned indignation, demanding answers while fully aware he was responsible, a hypocritical act that shocked Rhodes. And this audacious gaslighting later became a fan-favorite punchline whenever the story was retold. The consequences were serious for WWE, as the hotel reportedly banned them, with Rhodes later stating, "We're not welcome back at that hotel anymore." Yet no formal disciplinary action against Orton is documented, matching his later confirmation that he didn't get in trouble, and the group left South Africa before proper identification could occur. Rhodes first publicly shared the anecdote during a press conference after his surprise return at WrestleMania 38 in April 2022, using it to illustrate Orton's transformation from troublemaker to family man, and he retold it in a YouTube short that went viral, with viewers captivated by his comedic delivery and evident disbelief even years later. In December 2024, Rhodes revisited the story on Jazz's World TV, pairing it with another Orton prank, where he tricked Rhodes into sticking his freshly stitched forehead out of a car window, causing the stitches to pop and blood to pour down. His face, another dangerous joke that could have caused serious complications. Orton himself confirmed the core details in May 2024 on the same podcast, stating, "The story is true, but Cody Rhodes has been known to exaggerate his stories in the past. So I don't remember everything about the situation, but there was a bit of flooding, and I did rip a urinal off the wall." Yes, however, Orton downplayed the feat, noting that the urinal was already kind of half hanging off the wall, so it required less strength than Rhodes' dramatic retelling suggested. Yet the admission confirmed the essential truth. Randy Orton destroyed hotel property, caused significant flooding, lied to management's faces, and faced no consequences. More disturbing allegations about Orton's backstage behavior go beyond property destruction or dangerous pranks and involve alleged sexual harassment. As former WWE creative writer Court Bauer described a recurring initiation ritual, Bauer, who worked on WWE's creative team from 2005 to 2007 and later founded Major League Wrestling, first shared this account on episode 49 of the MLW radio podcast in 2012, but the story gained explosive attention in August 2018 when it resurfaced. On Reddit, amid the Me Too movement's heightened scrutiny of entertainment industry misconduct. According to Bauer, Orton had a pattern of greeting new creative writers in a deeply inappropriate way. He would approach them in the creative room, expose himself, touch himself, and then extend his hand for a handshake while delivering a promo-like rant. Bauer's full account, as transcribed by multiple wrestling media outlets, painted a deeply disturbing picture. Orton stood up in feigned indignation, demanding answers while fully aware he was responsible, a hypocritical act that shocked Rhodes, and this audacious gaslighting later became a fan-favorite punchline whenever the story was retold. The consequences were serious for WWE, as the hotel reportedly banned them, with Rhodes later stating, "We're not welcome back at that hotel anymore." Yet no formal disciplinary action against Orton is documented, matching his later confirmation that he didn't get in trouble. And the group left South Africa before proper identification could occur. Rhodes first publicly shared the anecdote during a press conference after his surprise return at WrestleMania 38 in April 2022, using it to illustrate Orton's transformation from troublemaker to family man, and he retold it in a YouTube short that went viral, with viewers captivated by his comedic delivery and evident disbelief even years later. In December 2024, Rhodes revisited the story on Jazz's World TV, pairing it with another Orton prank where he tricked Rhodes into sticking his freshly stitched forehead out of a car window, causing the stitches to pop and blood to pour down his face, another dangerous joke that could have caused serious complications. Orton himself confirmed the core details in May 2024 on the same podcast, stating, "The story is true, but Cody Rhodes has been known to exaggerate his stories in the past, so I don't remember everything about the situation, but there was a bit of flooding, and I did rip a urinal off the wall. Yes." However, Orton downplayed the feat, noting that the urinal was already kind of half hanging off the wall, so it required less strength than Rhodes' dramatic retelling suggested. Yet the admission confirmed the essential truth. Randy Orton destroyed hotel property, caused significant flooding, lied to management's faces, and faced no consequences. More disturbing allegations about Orton's backstage behavior go beyond property destruction or dangerous pranks and involve alleged sexual harassment. As former WWE creative writer Court Bauer described a recurring initiation ritual. Bauer, who worked on WWE's creative team from 2005 to 2007 and later founded Major League Wrestling, first shared this account on episode 49 of the MLW radio podcast in 2012, but the story gained explosive attention in August 2018 when it resurfaced on Reddit amid the Me Too movement's heightened scrutiny of entertainment industry misconduct. According to Bauer, Orton had a pattern of greeting new creative writers in a deeply inappropriate way. He would approach them in the creative room, expose himself, touch himself, and then extend his hand for a handshake while delivering a promo-like rant. Bauer's full account, as transcribed by multiple wrestling media outlets, painted a deeply disturbing picture, remnant for every new writer who arrived. Orton would come into the room, put his hand down his pants, pull out his genitals, touch himself, and then say, "I'm Randy Orton, shake my hand." If the writer hesitated, Orton would respond, "Oh, you don't want to shake my hand? You're big leaguing me? That's messed up, man. Should I tell Vince and Steph you won't shake Randy Orton's hand?" Bauer explained that the writers would start sweating and backing into corners, while Orton, still exposed, continued cutting a promo for nearly 5 minutes. The intensity made it unclear whether he was joking or genuinely angry, adding psychological intimidation to physical harassment. Bauer shared a personal experience, recalling how on his first day, Orton began the same ritual but immediately stopped when Stephanie McMahon walked in, quickly tucking himself away like a student caught misbehaving. When asked if he would have shaken Orton's hand, Bauer admitted with uncertainty, "I don't know. I'm kind of a germaphobe." He also expressed surprise that Orton hadn't faced sexual harassment claims earlier, pointing out how clearly the behavior could have led to legal trouble. Bauer said this was not an isolated incident, but recurring behavior that happened with every new writer during his time in WWE. When the story went viral on Reddit in August 2018, Bauer confirmed its accuracy on Twitter. When directly asked about the story, Bauer simply responded, "Yes," confirming its truth and sparking widespread media coverage from outlets such as The Wrap, Bleacher Report, Newsweek, and Fox News, which framed it as a potential major harassment scandal. WWE quickly responded with a statement on August 11, 2018, saying, "We are looking into the matter," and a spokesperson confirmed an internal investigation into the old allegations of sexual misconduct. Orton's representatives were contacted, but did not respond, and despite the investigation, Orton appeared on SmackDown Live just days later, continuing his feud with Jeff Hardy and showing no immediate effect on his professional standing. Reports from What Culture and several YouTube channels claimed that Orton laughed off the allegations during house shows that week, joking with staff about the controversy behavior that could be seen as either genuine confidence or troubling disregard, depending on perspective. Some of Randy Orton's wildest stories, however, never actually happened, but the fact that he tried to make them happen showed just how unhinged his mindset was during WWE's ruthless aggression era. One such case was the infamous attempted pee prank on John Cena and WWE executives, as revealed by former tag team partners Brian Kendrick and Paul London in their 2010 RF video shoot interview titled "Brian Kendrick and Paul London's Excellent Adventure." In their candid discussion, they talked about various WWE experiences, including their time around Orton, describing him as hilarious to hang out with, but admitting that his antics often crossed dangerously over the top lines. According to Brian Kendrick and Paul London, the incident took place during a WWE tour in the mid-2000s, likely around 2004 or 2005, when John Cena was transitioning from a mid-card rapper to the company's top star and spending a lot of time with executives for mentorship and guidance. Picture the scene. The group, including Orton, Kendrick, London, and several other wrestlers, was hanging out in a hotel room when Orton noticed Cena dining with WWE executives on a patio below their balcony. Instead of settling for a harmless joke or a bit of teasing, Orton came up with something far more outrageous, urinating on them from above. According to their retelling, Orton tried to convince everyone in the room to join him in this absurd act, apparently envisioning a coordinated golden shower aimed at WWE's rising face and its leadership. The audacity of even suggesting such a thing, targeting not only a fellow wrestler but also company executives, showed either extreme boldness or complete recklessness, depending on how you look at it. Kendrick and London said they immediately refused, responding with something like, "Are you crazy? We'd get fired," and noted that no one else took part despite Orton's persistent encouragement. With everyone refusing to join in, the prank never happened, narrowly avoiding what could have been a career-ending disaster. The story's timeline perfectly matches the period of Cena's rapid rise to superstardom. John Cena won his first WWE Championship at WrestleMania 21 in April 2005, after a long build-up during which he frequently interacted with company executives for strategic discussions. At the same time, Orton, fresh off his run with Evolution and his own championship reign, was known to clash with Cena both in storylines and through real-life competitive tension, making the idea of him targeting Cena for humiliation entirely believable. What makes this story particularly striking is how it highlights Orton's complete disregard for consequences during that period. This wasn't about pranking a rookie diva or a lower card talent with little influence. It was a plan to literally urinate on the man WWE was grooming as the face of the company, along with the executives responsible for that decision. The fact that Orton seriously tried to convince others to join him shows that he either felt untouchable because of his family legacy, or simply didn't think beyond the immediate chaos he wanted to cause. The story fits perfectly into the broader pattern of Orton's impulsive and reckless behavior during the ruthless aggression era, which included the earlier fireworks incident and multiple property destruction stories. Kendrick and London also recalled other wild moments involving Orton, including a trip to Mexico, where they claimed the three of them fled from the Federales after a dynamite prank, again showing his habit of escalating jokes into dangerous or even illegal situations. John Cena, known for his professionalism, reportedly ignored such pranks entirely to avoid encouraging more of them, and no evidence suggests he ever knew about this particular attempted prank. Something that likely spared everyone involved from serious consequences, as even Orton's powerful family background might not have been enough to protect him if it had actually happened.
One fall approaching the ring, weighing in at 260 pounds, WWE Hall of Famer.
Amy Weber and Rochelle. Lowen's experiences revealed that some of Randy Orton's most troubling behavior wasn't just limited to pranking fellow male wrestlers who could defend themselves, but also targeted vulnerable newcomers, particularly the 2004 WWE Diva Search contestants. These women, many of whom were models with little wrestling experience, often faced resentment from veterans who saw them as outsiders seeking fame, and Orton reportedly made their lives miserable through constant harassment. Amy Weber, who placed fourth in the 2004 Diva Search, and later appeared on SmackDown as JBL's image consultant from late 2004 to early 2005, endured bullying so severe that it ultimately drove her to leave WWE entirely. The main incident took place in February 2005 during a demanding 10-day WWE tour across Hawaii, Japan, and Alaska. While training with Joy Giovanni for a potential match, Weber was accidentally kicked in the stomach, injuring her tailbone, which may have been cracked. Though she could still walk, the trainer advised her to take ibuprofen and get ice from the men's locker room, a routine decision that somehow became fuel for Orton's harassment. On the flight from Japan to Alaska, Weber lay across several seats to ease her pain when Orton suddenly approached from behind and slammed into her chair like a linebacker, causing her to fall and said, "You're going to learn, Butch." Weber had no idea what she had done wrong or what he meant. Later during the same flight, she woke up to find someone pouring a drink directly onto her face. When Amy Weber confronted Edge, who was holding a partially finished drink matching the one poured on her, she asked, "Do you have a problem with me?" and challenged him to be a man and own up to it, but Edge denied being responsible. In her 2020 YouTube video, Weber named both Edge and Randy Orton as bullies, saying, "At the end of the day, did I deserve it? Because I took 2 ibuprofen the trainer told me to take and some ice from the guy's locker room? I don't think so. As a decent human being, you just don't do that to people." After landing, Weber told Shane McMahon she could no longer work in such a disrespectful environment and quit. WWE, her final appearance, saw her shoot JBL with a tranquilizer gun in a storyline segment that ended with her on-screen firing. In later interviews, Weber called Orton a dirtbag, citing the frat house atmosphere and poor pay as reasons for her departure, but made it clear that bullying was the breaking point. Rochelle Lowen, another 2004 Diva Search contestant who had a brief WWE run from November 2004 to February 2005, also described being singled out by Orton. In a 2005 Voice of Wrestling interview, Lowen recounted that on her very first day, after casually asking Orton if he was Canadian, a question that apparently offended him, he vandalized her personal bag. Orton allegedly soaked her clothes in self-tanning lotion and baby oil, ruining several expensive items. Rumors even spread that he had defecated in her bag, which Lowen clarified was false, explaining, "It was just self-tanning lotion and baby oil, but I wouldn't put it past him to do something like that." Lowen linked the harassment to Orton's personal dislike of her, believing it may have stemmed from her rejecting his advances or from her friendship with Triple H, and this situation played a major role in her decision to leave WWE in February 2005. Veteran wrestler Val Venis confirmed the story on a 2022 podcast, saying that Orton's behavior essentially drove Lowen out of the company. The effects of these incidents reached beyond the direct victims as well. Joy Giovanni, a close friend of Amy Weber, revealed in a 2023 interview that she had considered quitting after witnessing the bullying on the plane, describing Weber as being targeted by what would later become the Rated RKO team. Orton and Edge officially formed that tag partnership in 2006, underscoring the emotional toll and ripple effect their actions had on other women who either witnessed or feared similar treatment. Orton also developed a reputation for pranking and harassing multiple divas, often vandalizing their handbags or personal belongings, which created a toxic backstage environment that contributed to several early female departures from WWE. These events took place during Orton's mid-20s, a period marked by substance abuse, entitlement, and a sense of invincibility fueled by his rapid rise and third-generation wrestling legacy, which together created an inflated feeling of untouchability. Neither Randy Orton nor Edge have ever publicly addressed these allegations, and there is no record of any WWE investigation or disciplinary action regarding them, yet these stories remain a reminder of how WWE's 2000s ribbing culture sometimes crossed into real harassment, particularly targeting women who lacked the power or influence to defend themselves. The most dangerous incident involving the Orton family didn't involve Randy directly. but his father, WWE Hall of Famer Cowboy Bob Orton, who, during the 2005 Armageddon Hell in a cell match with Randy and The Undertaker, allegedly exposed The Undertaker to Hepatitis C, a serious bloodborne disease, when their bleeding came into contact. And Undertaker was reportedly never informed of Bob's condition. When WWE's medical team discovered it afterward, Undertaker was furious and confronted management, and the fallout damaged Bob Orton's standing in the company while highlighting how WWE's prioritization of spectacle over performer safety created real risk during that era. The 30-minute Hell in a Cell match was promoted as ultra-violent, and it delivered, with Randy Orton and The Undertaker blading early to create dramatic bloodshed. Midway through, Bob Orton entered the cage to assist his son and also bladed himself intentionally, adding to the visual carnage, resulting in all three participants bleeding heavily with their blood mixing on the canvas, their bodies, and throughout the cell structure. The situation becomes truly alarming considering Bob Orton had been diagnosed with hepatitis C as a teenager, roughly 35 years before the match, a bloodborne virus that attacks the liver and can be transmitted through contact with infected blood, creating an extreme risk in professional wrestling where bleeding is common. Multiple reports indicate that John Laurinaitis, WWE's head of talent relations at the time, was aware of Bob's condition but instructed him to proceed with blading anyway, apparently valuing the dramatic effect over serious health concerns. Doctors had reportedly reassured Bob that the virus posed little risk due to decades of being asymptomatic. Yet this decision exposed The Undertaker without his knowledge or consent. After the match, a WWE doctor described as The Undertaker's